Don't believe me? Let me give you an example. The BMW General. First of all, she used to post about the BMW General. I didn't understand why she called her like in chronological order. And I'm like, okay, popcorn, let's see what she's talking about today. Um, there are specific topics that I will follow when she posts on them. So she always used to post about this Brigadier BMW, Brigadier BMW. And I was like, what is a Brigadier BMW? And she moved just from BMW straight. Like she caught the elevator, guys. She caught the elevator and went straight inside Pagati within and was a brigadier, having never, ever, ever done constable or any police training. That's how incredible it is in the South African police services. Like you can just be elevated just like that, depending on who your father is. But we found out that now she wears a uniform and she's a street patrolling, but in a higher ranking street patroller. Just so you know, she can get accustomed. And you people online, you can see this clip.
With the beautiful honeymoon phase where everything was well until the jig was up. We're like, government is fucking around. And then they come on freedom of speech. And one day they'll find a country whereby we can't even criticize or say anything. Yeah, so we need to be careful as well. We need to protect certain rights. Yeah. Yes, fact checker?
Freedom of speech in the Constitution is protected under Section 16, which states that everyone has the right to freedom of expression. This also includes the right to receive and impart information, artistic creativity, and academic freedom. However, the limitations is that it is not to be used for harm on others, including propaganda for war, incitement of imminent violence, or hate speech.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
So that's a clip I wanted to share from podcasting. It's actually the wrong clip. So it's the other one. I'll play it in a bit later. I'll play it. Wow. Wow. Why has English disappointed me like that in the public during the people? I will play it a bit later. Okay. So let's go back to paragraph 36. It is okay. So I read paragraph 36, and basically that's what the judge is saying. He understands social media. I think in this case they got a judge who understands social media. I don't want to point names, but imagine a certain judge with 50 years experience having to sit in on that case and then give a ruling on social media when they didn't know what a USB was. Anyway, I don't want to step too much on that, but okay, paragraph 37. The judgment continues to read, I may add that the respondent does not rely on fair comment as a defense, and consequently, I do not intend to consider this defense. Oof. Oof. I wish I could have been in the court. I wish there's a video recording. I wish we could see the look on those lawyers, right? It is her case that the information posted by her were already in the public domain. Like for me, I thought it was ridiculous, the whole thing. It's like, sir, I can click right now on the Netflix documentary and you're sitting right there, okay? I can even describe what you're wearing. You are on net. Did you think that because Netflix is a subscription based platform, streaming platform, that very limited people would have access to it? Did you not know about TikTok and people can share the videos there? Of course, not on YouTube because she then target Patricia Mashale and say XYZ when you yourself sat on Netflix and told us you were there inside Pagati the Spaza house. How is Patricia responsible for that? But let's continue reading further that the posts were the truth, Mr. Judge. Mr. Judge, you are definitely not one of those implicated by Umkwanazi, okay, as corrupt judiciary. Not you saying that the posts were the truth and in public interest, sir. She submitted that she will be able to prove the veracity of the statements during a hearing in due course. I think that's 636. I think that's the SENZO MEYIWA trial. Or if my lord over there in Bloom decides, yeah, yeah, I want you to prove it. But the judge made a ruling without making Patricia prove her allegations. Do you know how big that is? That's huge. Basically, it's a hearsay ruling. And you already know what my lawyer has to say about that. But let's continue. So, she submitted that she will be able to prove the veracity of the statements during a hearing in due course. I indicated earlier that the respondent could not rely on the Disclosure Act as a defense. However, as a concerned citizen of this country, very concerned citizen, she's so concerned that the applicants have called her a self-styled whistleblower, that the concerned citizens of this country, is out with his fact checker over there on Podcast and Chill. And you know, if it's said in Podcast and Chill, it's a fact. However, as a concerned citizen of this country, she has a right to freedom of speech, entitling her to reasonable publication of the truth if it is in public interest. More about that later. The constitutional rights of freedom of speech on the one hand and dignity on the other hand, as mentioned above. Yeah? Let me see your comments here. Let me break to read comments. Da da da. Of course, surely there can never be peace between a criminal and cispat. I thought you were going to say between a police officer, but I see what you did there. Brilliant. They can never, I'm stealing that. I'm going to steal that. Yeah, I love it. There can never be peace between a criminal and cispat. What's your Facebook name? Mzansi Unfiltered. Have you liked the video, ladies and gentlemen? Please don't forget to like the video. It brings me joy when I see those likes go up. So let's get this live likes up to 1,000. He's a long-standing criminal. Mkulugudu inside Pagati within. Good evening, Nosipiwa. Thank you. Who is this? Unambo says, Mzansi Unfiltered in with my little corner. You're in your little corner. Welcome. I love that. Listen, I can never hear Shadrach Sivia saying tiny little corner. Let's just digress that a little bit. It's quite when you're in an argument with someone and you've got nothing to substantiate the argument, then you start to say, you know what, let me start calling them names. Let me start calling them names. Let me start tearing them down. Let me distract from the actual issues at hand, because he said so many sidelines and side jabs at Konazi, but he never addressed anything in actual fact. To this very date, he still hasn't addressed anything. People like myself, Mzansi Unfiltered, member of the public jury, I'm willing to listen. And I'm willing to hear your side of the story and then make my own independent decision. Okay, I'm not just blind following the sheep. No. Of course, Umkwanaze was quite convincing. His combat, his presentation, all that played a role in it. And then you coming and then just throwing jabs like tiny little corner. He's just a provincial police commissioner. Why can't he stay in his tiny little corner and be like other provincial commissioners? I'm a deputy, a national commissioner. Who does he think he is to tell me what to do? I spoke to him 2 days ago. He invited me. Everything was fine. Like, you see, all those things that he said, I never knew that KZN was a tiny little corner, but I can never unhear that. Okay. I also never knew that he's a disciplined saps. He's so disciplined, but he's sitting at home. Such discipline, right? And then there's just so much more that he decided to tear down, but he was only tearing down one person, Kwanaze. And then Gushle says, hello, good evening to all them gulugudas Pagati inside with them Mzansi Unfiltered. There can never be peace. I know that's right. Come on now. Preach between a criminal and a police officer in Kwanaze, we believe. I just absolutely can never unhear that. Tiny little corner. I'm gonna go to, let me see, which other comment haven't I read? Surely there's no peace between of course we can read this one again. Between criminals and sis Pat. Lindy is here. Pagati Pagati. Thank you so much. Irene is also here. Pagati inside with a like. Admiration of your good work. Listen, I just say it like it is. I just let them just do their thing and then we gather to talk about it. I mean, we also have another tandem Gulugudu, but you know what? We'll talk about that on my other channel. Make sure you're following me there. But first, go follow me Instagram, follow me Facebook, follow me TikTok. Oh no, I promised I'd start going live on TikTok. Anyway, there's still time. There's still time. I'll still do that. Barbara says Sevilla must take a seat, several, and enjoy his special. I would be, listen, if it was me, you couldn't tell me nothing. I'd be enjoying. I'd be on special leave. I would be so special on my special leave and stop embarrassing himself. He wants his driver back and he wants his protection. He's feeling quite lonely at home. Funda Tembi Funda. Yes, yes, yes. Inside Parati with my like. Thank you, Violet. I appreciate you. Silly, I'm Gulugudu. Oh my goodness. We also have to comment responsibly. We saw the judgment, right? The judgment says, yeah, social media, I get it. But we've got to be responsible. Good evening, Mzansi. Your real name of you, Mzansi Unfiltered. I don't understand the question. Type it again. Togo Joyce says, good evening, family. I'm so happy to see everyone is inside Pagati. Then Gat. Good work, Patricia. You are so smart, my baby. She's so smart. She's so brave. And she's 51 years old now. I can say that because she shared her age. And she's very excited to have made another year. We do know, unfortunately, some other whistleblowers whistleblew and, they didn't get to celebrate their birthdays after. So we are definitely celebrating her. And also that she's also not just whistleblowing, but she's continuously whistleblowing. Like it's on repeat. She's the problem that SAPS never knew. Beltanguenya. They should have never dismissed her. They should have never dismissed her. They should have never taken her pension. They should have never given her all those injustices. Do you see what that does to you? It creates a whole monster with her own YouTube channel, and you cannot govern the YouTube channel. Speaking of the YouTube channel, let me let you listen to what McG said about YouTubers. All of us, myself included.
Our saving grace is that we're not controlled by the government. We're controlled by Google.
Yeah.
YouTube. So essentially, we work for Google. We work for an American company just based in SA.
We are.
I think he explained that very, very well. Very, very, very well. The reason why we can be so unfiltered over here, especially Mzansi Unfiltered and all other YouTube channels, doesn't matter what it is, whether they're doing gardening or they're going to Woolworths. I didn't know that was a thing. Now Woolworths has had to stop that. Never mind. Anyway, so it doesn't matter what type of YouTube channel you have, whether it's faceless or you're there, I don't know, tutorial channel, whatever channel you have, it's owned by Google, and Google is an American company. So technically, you understanding? So it's very difficult for them to regulate. That's why they'll make all the noise. That's why you hear Gates and McKenzie say, cancel that podcast, cancel that podcast. And then DSTV will say, oh my goodness, the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture has spoken. Yes, we'll cancel it. You've canceled it off of DSTV. But if you type Open Chats podcast, it is still inside Parity within the YouTube. They can still post. In fact, they should start posting more if they've lost revenue from that DSTV contract. They've issued their apology. I haven't even seen it yet. But I'm just saying that is the power of YouTube, the independence from the government. For now. I don't know. They might approach Trump and say whatever, but let's continue listening on.
based on they say. Yeah, we can say we
This is also important for you to listen and pay attention to if you're a troll. You might not have a YouTube channel, but you have a tendency on going on YouTube channels and thinking you can cancel YouTube channels or saying things like, stop watching ads. It's absolutely hilarious. Let me tell you a quick finance lesson. YouTube is in the business of making money. It is not a non-profit. It is not a government tender. It is a for-profit business. And all the little you see, if you think you're killing Mzansi's revenue, or what's her name, Big Nans, the one who's crying for ad revenue, you are not. YouTube still compensates us. So you watch the ads to support your creator, or if you don't want to support, then you subscribe to YouTube Premium. So as a troll, when you're commenting and you're thinking you're trolling, you're tearing somebody down, you're doing what is called typing a comment. YouTube machine, the AI, can only see you typed a comment. It can't read what you said in the comment. And then when it sees that nasty, you are thinking, oh my God, I did a thing here. I wrote the nastiest comment and I told her how horrible she is, how bad she is. Don't you have any other things to talk about? And then 12 people come and reply. YouTube is saying, wow, there's a conversation over there. Let me increase distribution, okay? Let me share this video far and wide, because you said as a troll you were trying to break me. But then you increased my supply. And for that reason, I don't block trolls. I don't even delete those comments. I keep them right there. I only delete a troll comment if they're being hateful to somebody else in the comments. So I don't think it's fair, because, you know, they're commenting. You shouldn't tear somebody down just for their comment. I think that's quite ignorant. Anyway, back to the podcast.
Based on they say. Yeah. But we can say we filed a podcast to surface somewhere outside of South Africa. Then they could put up on the internet. And there's nothing that South African government can do. They can ban YouTube, but there'll still be, what do you call them? Proxies, those things. VPNs. Yeah, there'll still be VPNs to access it. So you're right.
Bro, and what's so sad is that the government did nothing, bro, to invest in the space, to grow the space.
To fund it, nothing.
Nothing, bro. And, bro, if you look at how many people, like, the digital space employs, bro, I mean, just this company alone, bro. We've got like over 50 people that work for this company alone.
Listen, that like shocked me. I was like, wait, Podcast and Chill employs 50 people? What are we doing over here at Mzansi Unfiltered? I need an editor. I need a thumbnail creator. I need to get more people. That's quite impressive. Listen, congratulations to Podcast and Chill. They are creating employment. While the government is busy issuing tenders, they're going to use Deboho, the CEO in IDT, who is applying for tenders, has a tender for 850 million rands, and then sidelines it. You know, you apply for a tender and say you can do a service, and then you find small companies to make tenders with you, and then you pay them money, you inflate the cost, and then you find out they're not even paying the PWP workers. Like, that broke my heart. It really broke my heart. And it's always the people at the bottom who suffer the most. And that is unfair. So what happens in this podcast space is people are creating employment, and not just people, like even if you're a solo channel or a solo host on your channel, you've still created employment for yourself that the government has failed to do. And the government contributed nothing to it. But then they want to be out there saying, no, regulate podcasts. No, shut them down. What's going to happen if you shut down all these YouTube channels? You're going to increase the unemployment rate. There's so many teens right now who start off and immediately, some of them have never worked a corporate job because of this YouTube space. So shout out to everybody who's a content creator. Yay!
Right. And I tell you for free, if there was no YouTube, none of us would have jobs.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
not going back on radio. Nobody's going to take me back on radio. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They'll take you back, man. Don't worry. This thing wouldn't be.
Bro, if there was no YouTube, I don't know what I would be doing, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck. I'd probably be an Uber driver.
Because I got to radio because of the podcast.
Yes.
Otherwise, they'd cancelled me on radio.
YouTube saved our lives, guys. Every single one of us here. Dude, who would you be producing for? You'd be producing for what?
Kasi FM still. She used to do news that Kasi FM, and she used to produce that Kasi FM. And the program manager, hey, gorgeous.
So what I'm trying to say is, okay, Pedroka,
Oh, shout out to, sorry, before you go, shout out to, what's her name? Sonia Mbele. She's like an ambassador of Kasi FM.
Oh, is she?
She's from Foslo, yeah.
Oh,
Please
dope.
fact check that. Yeah, she's an ambassador of Kasi FM. Because, I mean, it's from her hood. Well, Katoras, yeah. So shout out. Go on, man.
What was I saying, man?
Oh,
so yeah, I'm saying, bro. So yeah, here, you know, we've got such a high unemployment rate in the country.
Yeah.
All right. So here, young people. Okay, we're trying, man. We're hustling, bro. Okay, we're like, all right, cool. Let's do this YouTube thing, right?
Yeah.
We go on YouTube. We serve our community. We build a community. Our community supports us and whatever. We're not bothering anyone, dog.
No one, bro.
We don't want no money from the government. We don't want shit.
Nothing. We
We
don't-
build
knock
everything from
on
the ground up. And I'm
the
talking
doors,
about all
man.
creators, bro.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
even TikTokers and
Yeah.
all these other people. And then you as the government, instead of embracing this, at every single point when shit hits the fan,
A
which will-
mistake is done.
and the mistake is done, you just want to cancel it.
Yeah.
You just want to silence it. You
Yeah.
just want it gone. Just because you can't control it.
It's a threat. Yeah,
come
they
on,
see
bro.
it as it's.
Nah, bro.
disappointing.
It's really
It is,
disappointing,
man,
dog.
you know?
Dog, those
Let the
kids
kids
don't
learn.
bother anyone, bro.
Let the kid, well, they did now, though. They bothered the whole color community now.
community, yeah.
Let them learn, though. You know, we've learned. We've also come out of the fire. We're still gonna be in the fire soon. I
Yeah.
can smell it. You know what I mean? In the next few weeks, you know, we're gonna be in the fire. But you know, we learn from each mistake like a kid.
Every time a new season starts.
So yeah, that is shout out to Podcast and Chill. Thank you so much for explaining how YouTube actually works. So let's go back to Funda Tembi Funda and read the rest of Patricia Mashale's judgment with